she comes in, I'll let her in as a panelist.
Okay.
Okay,
It's all right?
all right, yep.
Oh, depends on if it's Verizon or Charter.
Charter.
If you're on Charter?
Are you looking for Charter channel or the Verizon?
Charter.
Charter?
192.
Okay, thank you.
So, can we start?
Let us know when you're ready, Dana.
Just gonna let Laura in.
Great. Good evening, everyone. My name is Julianne Hirsch, Chair of the Select Board. I'd like to call this meeting on August 4th to order at 6:35 PM. This meeting will be a hybrid meeting conducted in accordance with the provisions of the open meeting law. It will be streamed live and recorded. Before we begin, I will state the members who are present in the room and those participating remotely. Present in the room are Jacob Jones, John Ray, Mike Tejan, and myself, Julianne Hirsch. We also have Diane Wackel and Stephanie Bacon. For remote participants, we have Laura Zeiton. For the remote participant, I just want to make sure that you can hear us and that we can hear you. So Laura, can you let us know? You can hear us?
Thank you.
Okay, and we can hear you. Okay, so we have a packed agenda tonight, so let's begin. The first thing on the agenda is not public comment, but I will allow public comment since it's a customary thing that we allow. Does anyone here have any public comment on something that's not on the agenda? Anyone in the waiting room? I don't see anyone. Okay, then we will move on to approval of meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes of June 23rd, July 7th, July 14th, 2025?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move the board vote to approve the meeting minutes of June 23rd, 2025 of the Select Board, of course, July 7th, 2025, the open meeting portion, and July 14th, 2025 as presented.
Are there any changes or amendments to the minutes of any of the three? No? Then we will approve this collectively. All in favor of approving?
Second.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, all in favor of approving the minutes of June 23rd, July 7th, July 14th? Motion made by Jacob, seconded by Mike. All in favor, please. It has to be a roll call vote. I'm sorry. Laura?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, thank you very much. All right, next on the agenda is change of manager at the American Legion. Hi. Thank you for coming tonight. Would you?
Sorry?
Thank you for coming
Oh,
tonight.
thank you for
Explaining.
inviting me, and thank you for giving us that ARPA fund to allow us to complete our kitchen.
Oh, good. Hope you're enjoying it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Is it fully completed?
Yes.
It is? Oh,
Yes,
great.
approved, everything, yeah, all signed off and used, and
Oh, great,
yeah, we're
great.
doing well with it. Yeah, thank you.
Great, that's
Thank you.
amazing, good.
So you are here tonight, though, to explain that there will be a change of manager?
Yes.
And do you want to just give us a little?
Well, Bill Callahan was the previous commander and manager of the liquor license, and he has since basically retiring. He's moving away from the area and everything. So since I am the current commander, that it's normal that I should pick up the manager of the liquor license.
Okay, and so we have the paperwork for this, which everyone in our packet.
It's after all the meeting minutes.
Yes. Yep, there you go.
And everything looks in order?
Everything seems to be in order, yes.
We don't need any kind of, so you're the manager,
Yes.
so you don't have to be like tip certified or anything like that?
Yes, I do, and I am. It should be in the package.
Okay, all right.
I'm
So-
crowd control
Carrie?
certified and first aid certified.
Excellent. Okay. I'll ask the board if they have any questions or comments.
Just the one comment I'll always make on anything involving alcohol in town is we count on our license holders to help us to keep our town safe. So hope you'll do that.
Absolutely, yeah, we do our best and everything.
Laura, do you have any comments?
I just wanted to say I'm happy that the kitchen is done, and I look forward to coming and visiting with you. So thank you for all you continue to do for our veterans in town.
Well, thank you, Laura. Anytime.
Okay, so if there are no further comments or questions, do we have a motion to approve the application?
Madam Chair, I move the board vote to approve the application for a change of manager as submitted by Vincent F. Picard Post Building Association Incorporated, DBA American Legion, for the all alcoholic beverages club license for premises located at 402 West Main Street.
Second?
Motion made by Mike, seconded by Jacob. Is there any other discussion? Roll call vote. Laura, how do you vote?
Aye. Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Well, thank you very much.
Look forward to seeing you
Appreciate
there.
it.
Thank you very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda is Select Solar. Is,
Do you see anyone, Dana? Brian Herr, Herr, or Rachel? Oh, sorry, I would have done that. I thought you could.
deal.
I don't see any of them here yet. Want to wait a second?
Madam
Yeah,
Chair,
for,
if we wanted to, maybe suggestion just to skip to the chief, the fire chief, and come
Yep.
back to this one?
yeah, we could do that. Yep. Oh, sorry, Julianne. Can we do that?
I agree. It's a village here. Okay, so Chief Parenti, while we wait in case someone from Solar comes, if you'd like to explain the updated hazard mitigation plan.
I will. Hazard mitigation planning is just so much fun, let me tell you. So this has been a long process. We started back in early 2023. We applied for a grant to fund the updating of our plan. Plans are required to be updated every 5 years under federal law. If we don't do them, then we are not eligible for future mitigation grants through the federal government. So it's really a requirement we do them. We started back in 2023. We hired Central Mass Regional Planning, and we got started. We had about we had 6 meetings within the first 8 months or so, and then we ran into some issues with staffing changes at Central Mass, and there were some delays. So it took us a little while to get it back going. Finally got the plan all up and drafted and sent to MEMA, who then sends it to FEMA. MEMA is a mass emergency management, FEMA is federal emergency management. And then, of course, FEMA will never approve one when they immediately get it. They have to make changes. So I don't know how many of you are familiar with what is in a hazard mitigation plan. And the purpose of a hazard mitigation plan is to prevent or mitigate future damage from either natural or man-made disasters. Okay, so this committee is made up of emergency management director, fire department, so myself, because I hold both of those titles, the deputy chief, the police department, public works, code enforcement, planning, conservation commission, all have reps that sit on the meeting. And the meetings, we sit down and it's a long process. We look at our previous plan, actions we put in. Are we being successful at mitigating? Have we followed the actions we've set? Have we followed the timetables that have been set? We look at any disasters that have happened within the last X amount of years, right? And see how that goes. If we need to make special adjustments for that. And we come up with all these different mitigation strategies. And again, you guys, you got copies of these. Back in July of 24, when we did our original public presentation, everyone got a copy of it. things such as enhancing the town-wide relationship with utilities. That's actually a mitigation standard. A strategy, because we reach out to the utilities, we get a good working relationship, we know each other. If something needs to be fixed, we can get it fixed quicker. So those types of things. Maintaining fire roads, maintaining culverts, accepting, putting certain things into your planning and zoning regulations to mitigate future hazards. So all of those things are different items that we take on board. We review them, we look at how we can fund them. Do we fund them locally? Can we fund them through grants? Is there no money except for soft costs? So like just our cost to do it, and we do all that. And that's all laid out within the plan. And then how long do we think it'll take us to get there? 0 years, 3 years, 5 years, however long it'll take us to get there. So that's all part of the planning. Then, and this is a two-part process, then there is a public input process, which is a very important part of it. So what happens is we develop a survey, and that survey goes out town-wide. And the way we put it out is it went out in hard copy to town hall, to the police department, to the fire station, to the senior center, to the libraries. It went out electronically on all of our web pages, all of our social media, everything we could think to put it out on. We got about 218 replies, which is really, to be honest with you, pretty good nowadays that we get that many replies. That goes into Central Mass Regional Planning. They collate all the replies. They look and say, someone may have said, well, I think you should include this in the plan. Well, that makes sense. Or someone will say, well, why is this in the plan? And we have to reply back. We say, well, it's in there because of this reason. So we dealt with all of those, came up with that final draft. And that's what came in front of this board back in July of '24. Then it went out, as I said, came back, and then you guys went and had to change who sits on the board. So it had to go out again. And the funny thing is, I can't just change it because it's a federal doc, right? So I have to send, here's the new chair, here's the new vice chair, here's the members, change it. It goes to Central Mass sends it to MEMA, MEMA sends it to FEMA, that gets all the way back to us. Got back to us at the end of May, a little bit later, middle of June, and then we had to get on the agenda here today. So the purpose of me being here today is to present. Federal doc, right?
Oh,
so I have to send.
I'm so sorry. At least I'm watching this
I'm
meeting.
hearing myself. Is to give you the overview of what a hazard mitigation plan is. The fact that this, and you have all the names of the people that worked on it. It was in the memo I sent. Mm-hmm. They worked really hard. If I can call anyone out, and I'm going to call someone out specifically, it's Michael Parr. Mike's our hazmat specialist. He is also our LEPC coordinator, and he took on a big role with this and helped out tremendously because he has to track all the hours of all of our employees because that's our cost. That's our soft cost that helps match the grant. So really critical. And Linda then it gets sent to Linda Lepore has it, so it's been a lot of work. But the purpose here today is to present it, see if there's any questions, and for you guys to act on it. Now, what happens is you act on it, you sign it, it then comes back to me. I then send it to Central Mass sends it to MEMA, MEMA sends it to FEMA. If FEMA is okay with the signatures and everything, then it gets done, comes all the way back to us, and it gets stamped, and it's good for 5 years. So it's crazy.
So we do have 2 new members who were not here in 2024. Have you had a chance to look at the whole plan?
It's 196 pages.
Madam Chair, I'm looking at the agenda packet for the July 2024 meeting that has it attached. So I'm becoming familiar as we speak. If Mr. Ray would like to look at my screen, I can get him familiar too.
Well,
But I'm pretty comfortable with the material and the presentation, but thank you.
So is there a deadline on signing this? I wonder if
There's not a deadline, but at this point in time, it's a completed product. So if we decide to make any changes, now we're going to be, so let's say if the board says, no, we don't like this, now, which wouldn't make a lot of sense because you guys weren't involved in any of it, but then it would have to go all the way back through the channels, all the way back through the approval process, go back out to the public.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody, just looking at the names of everybody who worked on this, I'm comfortable that they all operated in professional and good faith, so I'm comfortable taking a vote on this evening.
So if there is no time constraint on this, if our 2 members would like to just review it and we
It's up to
vote-
them. I'm not going to say, we're already 2 years behind when we were supposed to redo it. So we are behind.
Right. There were 3 members who were in the original meeting, myself, Laura, and
It's up, if they have
yourself. So-
concerns, I could be more than happy to answer them.
Well, it's
If
just
not,
a
we can-
matter of doing.
190-some
Yeah.
pages.
Madam Chair, if I might suggest, we've got a lot of things we'll be paying attention to the meeting today. I'm prepared to support it. I don't want to speak to my colleague here, but perhaps if through the meeting today, he may be able to, I don't want to speak for you, look through it, maybe by the end of the meeting, we can vote on this?
At the end of the meeting.
I don't know. I'm asking for my friend here how long he thinks he needs.
Forward me that, or?
I'll forward him what I'm looking at right now.
So our next
Big
meeting
font.
is in September. I just don't want to take away the opportunity, but,
I don't have any
We
concerns with
could
it.
approve it and they could still review it. I mean,
Yeah.
there's really no substantive changes we'd be able to make on it because none of us have the credentials and the professional experience of pretty much anybody on this list as far as hazard and emergency mitigation.
okay, so Jacob feels confident. John, you okay with?
I just forwarded it to you.
Just take over, I
In the
mean,
meantime, I do have a question.
Sure, please.
So I started reviewing it a little bit today, and,
The plan itself, you started reviewing?
yeah.
Okay.
The dams. Now, I think you identified 4
Yeah,
that,
there's dams within our community, there's dams outside of our community that we own, but we only look at the dams within our community.
and so this came up, since you presented this last at MPIC, and there's a whole question of who owns the dams and really what we should be doing with it. There's the whole thought that, you remove some dams to get the rivers flowing. So I didn't read all.
Yeah, so there's.
What is your plan?
What we look at, and I could probably find that specific one in here, because I printed out all the mitigation strategies. Scott plays a very big role in that, because Scott knows where all the dams are, and he knows the status of all the dams. So some of them, like repair Bartlett Pond Dam to mitigate, remove invasive species. So that's one of the strategies for one of the dams. Develop, and that's a DPW. Ensure proper functioning of dry hydrants, that's that one, that's a different one. I don't know how many dam ones we have in here. Remove dams and restore streams, prioritize continuing work at the removal, adding the removal Northborough Reservoir Dam, explore options acquiring other significant high hazards dams. That is a 1 to 5 year ongoing process.
Okay.
So we lay out what we want to do. So it's addressed in here. And again, I'm sure I'll find all the dams in here. And what it would say is, this is what we want to do. We're expecting 5 years for us to do this. And again, dams fall under primarily DPW. I think Concom maybe, but I'm not sure if they do anything with dams, unless it's just some mitigation strategies for invasives. And then determine what, if anything, we have to do with them.
Okay, and do you think you'll be working with oars, or,
It's
Internally?
truly up to the DPW director how we work with those. I'm sure Scott's here. Oh, Scott's here.
Oh, hi, Scott.
Yeah, please. Yep.
Right, so if you look at each strategy, it says, this is the group that's in charge of this. This is the person that's in charge of this. Like dry hydrants, I got that. I'm in charge of those. Fire ponds, that would be me. Something else like this would be Scott, right? So different people have different responsibilities within them.
Okay. Scott, did you want to comment on this?
Am I in?
You're in. We can hear you.
Oh, excellent. I don't see myself. That's why I'm wondering.
We don't see you either, but,
Oh, huh.
I think you were just allowed to talk, Scott, probably.
Well, that's probably for the best for everybody in the room. So yeah, there are multiple dams in Northborough. Few of them are private. There's a large Office of Dam Safety DCR dike along Southwest Cutoff that's being worked on right now. There is Bartlett Pond Dam that the chief was just discussing. That's a low hazard dam. That dam has invasive species behind it in Bartlett Pond. The Conservation Commission is going through the process of treatment for those species. We all know about Northborough Reservoir Dam in Shrewsbury and Boylston. That is in the final steps of permitting for removal. Our hope is that that can be on the docket for capital funding to remove the dam in the coming year or two. There are some private dams. There's one on Otis Street. You see it at Smith Pond, at that sharp curve between the coffee grinder and Bavarian Farm. That's jointly owned, not by the town, but by the two abutting properties. And there's also a private dam on the Aspet River that goes underneath River Street, adjacent to Hudson, and that's privately owned. So our jurisdiction from operations and maintenance is Bartlett and Reservoir regarding public safety and a hazard mitigation plan. It's every dam in the community, so we're aware of it, aware of the conditions, and know whom to contact in the event there's a potential emergency or hazard that shows itself.
Now, one of the ones I'm just looking at says, communicate with the Office of Dam Safety on the condition of the Smith Pond Dam and the Otis Street Dam. DPW, DCR, and MEMA is responsible for that section. So, yeah.
Well, I don't want to take up too much time. Are there any other questions or comments?
My only, go ahead, sorry.
We'll go with
Dr.
Laura.
Jacob, sorry.
No, go ahead.
So thank you for the presentation. I remember that meeting, and I appreciate the thought that's gone into it. I'm also happy to hear that the permitting is continuing for the Northborough Reservoir Dam. I know that one's really risky right now, so I'm happy for that update. I was just reviewing from that original packet, and I think that the next step here was to establish a local implementation group. Is that something we should look at doing at an upcoming agenda, or who's going to establish that implementation group for the hazardous mitigation?
The committee itself is responsible for implementation. The group that put it together.
So why does it say that, like when you had done the original presentation, you said establish a local?
I'd have to find where that was, Laura. I don't know where that would be in there. I'd have to find that. I don't recall seeing that terminology. I've never.
It is in the original presentation, so.
Yeah, I've never actually seen one implemented outside of the committee for all the years I've been doing hazard mitigation planning, but it's possible.
Laura, do you want to bring that up when we get to future agenda items?
Sure, sounds good, thank you.
What do you think? Okay, all right.
Honestly, and if the chief would rather look at it, and we can, maybe, I'm happy to sync up with him afterwards.
Yeah, I'll give you
and figure out
feedback
the
on
best practices, but.
Okay. All right, Jacob?
Yeah, thank you. So I feel like I'm caught up to speed with the July meeting of last year, and I appreciate the work that went into this, and I'm ready to support it. My one comment or request would be, somewhere in the packet, it mentioned that the full draft plan, because I think at that point, CMERC was requesting comments within 2 weeks of the draft plan. It says it's available on the Town of Northborough website. I just might not be able to find it, but if we
was a
can.
link, it may have disappeared
If we
off that.
can just maybe put it on the news, so anyone from the town who's listening and says, hey, I'd like to look at that plan, so that they don't have to go, get an advanced degree in website finding to be able to locate it, maybe just as since it's a topic of discussion.
I don't
maybe
think
we
there's anything in this one. Some of our plans have addendums that aren't open to the public, but this one
Sure.
does not.
Okay, anything that should be made available to the public.
Yeah, this
if we
one
could
doesn't have that.
Just
We'll
make
get
it
it in
easy
there.
for them to find so that they can know what we're talking about.
Yep.
I would appreciate that.
Be happy to.
Okay. Scott Charpentier, did you have another comment?
I think he just didn't put his hand down.
I do not, other than I wish I could figure out my camera.
Well, we could add it
Thank you.
to the hazard mitigation plan. Okay, all right, any other comments? All right, are we ready for a vote? Let's see.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I move the board vote to approve and execute the updated hazard mitigation plan as presented by Fire Chief David Parenti.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by,
I heard that second.
Sounded like an aye to me.
seconded by Laura. Any other discussion? That's funny. Okay, roll call vote. Jacob?
Aye.
John?
I'd like to abstain if it doesn't slow it down.
Okay, great. Mike?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
And I vote aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Okay. Has anyone attended from Solar?
Brian Herr, ready to go? Do you want to go back to the
Yep.
agenda?
Yep.
That's him.
So this is the agenda item about the solar agreements for Proctor and Lincoln Street Elementary Schools.
Brian, are you there?
Yes, can you folks hear me okay?
Yes.
You're a little loud.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hi, Brian. So you're going to tell
Hello.
us about the solar agreements for the schools?
Yes, and I believe one of my colleagues, Rachel Roberts, our contract manager, is also in the meeting somewhere.
Oh, is she there?
Rachel, are you out there?
We're trying to find your colleague.
I believe she's on her phone, so she may not have her name up.
She's not in.
No, we can't find her. So do you want to start?
Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy to go right ahead and see if I can answer any questions, Joe. So by way of introduction, my name is Brian Hurd. We oversee the development and sales processes for Select Energy. Select is a locally owned Hopkinton-based business. Quickly on a personal note, I'm in my 5th term on the Select Board in Hopkinton, so I know what y'all do, and certainly appreciate all that happens in your community and the work that you folks put in there. So we have in place a couple of solar arrays on Proctor and Lincoln, and we're in the process now of finalizing our financing for those solar arrays. They are up and running. One of the buildings, and I don't have my notes in front of me, I thought Rachel would be able to help with some of this. One of the arrays, we had to do an amendment because we got a better tax incentive from the time we originally spoke to the team about the solar array. We went from a 30% tax credit to a 40% tax credit. What that did in effect was lower your PPA rate, the power purchase agreement, what you pay for electricity coming off the array. So one of the documents in front of you is an amendment to the original contract to lower the price to the town for the electricity. And the other 2 documents are what's called estoppels, which is a legal term to say everything we did a year or so back is still in place today. From your perspective and our perspective, the banks want to see that. It's really a very administrative document. I know that your town council, Rick Holland, has looked at these and made a couple of suggestions for some changes. Select Energy and our general counsel agreed to those changes, and the documents you have this evening should cover everything your town council is looking for that we blessed. And it's really the 2 administrative items as well as the price reduction in the power that you purchased.
Brian, I'm sorry, did you all get paperwork on
I
that?
don't see this.
Not in the packet.
We're supposed to pass this down.
Is Stephanie there by chance?
Yep, I'm here.
She's passing something around to us, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Attorney Dineski had a few questions that he wanted answered, and they were able to answer them, and it was actually more beneficial than what we thought. They captured an additional federal tax credit. They applied it to the project by approximately 2 cents, which provided additional savings for us. There was a combination of higher tax credit and a slight increase to the cost based on the roof warranty information provided, which led to the final PPA rate. And then we asked about the early termination amount, and it was based on the unrecovered project cost and expected returns. Because the PPA rate is now lower for the district, the project takes longer to recover its cost. If the agreement is terminated early, more of the developer's investments remain unpaid, which increases the early termination amount. That said, no municipality has ever exercised the early termination clause for projects. And then the last question we had, the avoided energy price, we were asking what the district was currently paying. It's based on the district's utility rates and not impacted by the change in the PPA rate, which that clarified all of the concerns that council had. It was a pretty standard agreement. He just had a few questions, and he felt satisfied with their response. Scott, did you want to interject at all? Is Scott on? What's that?
In the meantime, I think I have a question.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Just make sure I'm clear on the background. This was presented
The
for the
schools.
select board at a prior time. This is the first time the select board's seeing it, or no?
A while ago.
A while ago.
Yes, and Algonquin, if you remember the, oh, no, well, you weren't on the board, but the solar arrays for Algonquin, that was the project, and then it went to Proctor and Lincoln. So this is just specifically for these two elementary schools.
Okay.
So they're already up and running pretty much, right, Brian?
That's correct, yes.
And this is for the town to purchase the solar? Or the solar panels, or to lease the solar panels?
Well, basically, there's the estoppel, and then there's the PPA agreement, which, is this the same as Algonquin's, Brian?
Yes, these are power purchase agreements where you don't purchase the solar array, nor do you lease the solar array. You merely buy the electricity that we produce.
Okay.
So can you give us the highlights? How much are we saving? Do you have those numbers by any chance? And are we using all of the energy, selling any of it?
It's all being consumed on site. It's behind your meter, meaning the power that's produced goes right into the building and not up onto the grid. So you're basically lowering your electricity rate from what it was, 16, 18, 20 cents, whatever it was, down to the PPA rate. And that savings is what you realize through these power purchase agreements.
And what is the rate of the agreement? Is that the avoided energy price? What's the rate?
The avoided energy price is what you were paying from the utility prior to the solar arrays going in. In Massachusetts, the average is somewhere in the 18 to 20 cent range, all in for both your supply and your transmission distribution kWh charges. You're probably paying, I don't have the PPA in front of me. That was negotiated with the town about a year and a half ago. That contract's already been executed. This is an amendment to that contract. You're now going to be paying about 11 cents from that one school, if my memory serves me correctly.
Okay, so that's the PPA rate, 11.56.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, so there was a reduction in the PPA for Proctor, I know that, right? I believe that was one amendment.
And how often is the rate adjusted?
It's not, it'll be fixed now for 20 years with that amendment lowering the price.
Brian, what were the annual savings by location when it was modeled out, when the select board made the decision to do it?
When we entered into the contract, again, I don't have those contracts in front of me. The average school in Massachusetts saves anywhere from $750,000 to $1 million over a 20-year term with these PPA agreements. But I don't have it in front of me, so it's hard to give you an exact number.
And did we evaluate lease versus buy?
It's very difficult for municipalities to, up until the last couple of years when they changed a couple of the rules, and a bunch of the rules are about to change now going forward, but I think with the situation in Washington, D.C. But the tax credits are a huge piece of the puzzle, and monetizing those tax credits is what makes solar arrays affordable and then profitable for people over a period of time. Because municipalities are non-tax entities, it's very difficult for nonprofits to purchase solar arrays. So these power purchase agreements are very, very popular across the state.
Did we evaluate the difference between leasing versus buying? I didn't understand your answer.
To that question, that would have been a year and a half ago or so. I was not involved in these particular transactions at that time, but I highly doubt that a purchase would have been more beneficial than a power purchase agreement.
Do you? If we,
No, I mean, I don't remember when it last came before the select board. Knowing some of what goes on the school committee, I think my understanding was purchasing, there was additional, and I think, Brian, I don't know if you alluded to this, but are there sort of additional costs with purchasing? There's also tax incentives and credits that the town may not be able to take full advantage of, like another company would be able to, like Select Solar and I mean, I know the school committee and leadership did a deep dive on this and had multiple meetings about it. That's what I just remember off the top of my head, as far as why.
But there was no prepared analysis that we looked at that had the scenarios put up where we could kind of say, here's option one, here's option two, and then quantify, and then also quantify what it would be versus if we did nothing versus lease?
So again, we're still not leasing. There's no lease involved in terms of the solar array itself. Select Energy and investor partners own the array.
Oh, okay.
So you folks didn't spend a few money to have solar put on the roof. Literally not one penny. And nor do you pay lease payments to have the solar on the roof. All you do is buy discounted power.
Understood.
That's your only financial obligation in the whole thing.
And then did we look at what I have solar, full disclosure, so, and it took me a long time to act, it took me a long time to get comfortable with it because it's very confusing. And residential and municipality be different, so I'm not trying to say they're the same. But did we look at what the production of the solar on the schools would be versus versus how much the school, is there a net meter rollback, or is it partially offsetting some of the electricity used that the school requires to run?
That analysis would have been done, yes, that's a good question. Again, I don't have that analysis in front of me. I can say we've done this about 150 places across the state now in schools. Most school arrays only cover between 30 and 40% of the annual consumption on site. So it's offsetting a big chunk of your electric bill coming from the utility, but you're still going to get a bill from the utility. In these two particular schools, I highly doubt that we're overproducing. If there was any net metering has expired in Mass, so it's really just what's behind the meter. So I suspect that they are sized to be underneath the total consumption on site for a year.
Okay. Jacob?
Just a couple quick, I understand there's no battery storage on these, right? It's just use it or lose it, essentially, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
And then is there, because what we're looking at is amendments to an agreement and we don't have the full agreement, I question just really quickly, is there a way under the rest of the agreement for the town to have access to sort of like the production profile of these panels? Once we have that data?
Yeah. Yeah, they can give you that data. It's public information that's readily available, sure.
Okay, that'd be just really nice to know, and I think I would like to know it. Last question, I'm just a little bit confused of the difference between the smart incentive amount and the PPA rate. PPA rate, I understand that's the rate that we pay to your company per kilowatt hour produced, 11.56 cents, unless there's some adjustment under the, without getting into details, it possibly could change, but it's defined in there how it could change. 11.56 cents is what we're paying per kilowatt hour for 20 years, absent some amendment, right?
Correct.
What's the roughly 7.2 cent smart incentive amount? Who's paying that? Who's getting that? What is that doing?
The smart incentive is paid by the utilities to the owner of the array, which is us, which is one of the reasons we're able to sell you power at a discounted rate from what you were previously paying.
Okay.
So that comes to the owner of the array, like the tax incentives come to the owner of the array, and that all that money gets kind of thrown into the pot and stirred up, and then what comes out of that is the PPA rate at a lower level. Okay,
so, and I understand what you said before about municipalities having a hard time getting tax incentives. I get that all piece of it. I'm not trying to rewind the clock. I'm just trying to understand what I'm looking at. So if I'm reading this right, between the smart incentive amount and the amount the town is paying, the company that owns the solar arrays is getting around 18.2 cents, give or take, per kilowatt hour it produces, partially from the town and partially from the incentive, right?
That math would come together in that neighborhood, yes.
Yeah, give or take. Okay, that seems like a pretty sweet deal for the company, considering the town just reached a deal with National Grid to buy power for 14 cents a kilowatt hour. But it is what it is. I don't see any, what if we said, could we reduce the 11 cents to 10 cents? Still
So
negotiable?
Here's the scenario also that I probably should have shared early on based on some of the questions. This whole project, or these two projects, went before an organization called Power Auctions. Power Auctions is a state-sanctioned procurement entity, also a nonprofit entity that regulates, oversees, and manages and audits solar activities for nonprofits and municipalities across the Commonwealth. Power Auctions has a program where they go out and bid these projects out into the marketplace, for a period of a couple of years. We won that bid, so we have that, hunting license, if you will, to go to the various municipalities and do solar at very, very discounted prices. That 11-cent price for Smart 2.0 was in that mix, and that was part of the bid that we won a couple of years back now. So we've been through that process, but we can't negotiate that process any further, because then we'd be in violation of all the other contracts we have in place across the state.
So if I'm understanding what you're telling me is we can't negotiate with you separately, is what you're telling me. So if, like I said, hey, I'd like 10 cents instead of 11.5 cents, you're saying that violates other deals that you have?
That violates our contract with Power Auctions, yes, that's correct.
I can just say, I don't like that arrangement. I like being able to negotiate my deals, but I understand what you're saying. I particularly don't think this is a great deal for the town, considering we could buy power from National Grid with zero risk to us at 14 cents kilowatt hour.
And I don't get to the math of $1 million that you referenced, Brian.
That's
It
over.
depends on the size of the array in the school. I'd have to get into the weeds on that, but without sort of being a little bit crass here, and I don't mean to be, all this has been decided with the contracts that are in place with the town already. So it's really now a matter of this amendment to the contract that already exists to lower the rate, and the two estoppels saying that nothing's changed other than, this amendment over the last year or so.
And we are in a binding contract right now?
Well,
That's correct.
there's an early termination fee, but then if you do that, then you take off the arrays, I think.
Yeah.
Okay. No, and I'm sorry if I'm sounding super, I get that what we're here is, hey, the price is actually lower. That's a good thing. We should all be excited. I don't want to miss that detail, is you're telling us the price is going down, not up. So cheers for that. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding a little Debbie Downer here, but
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, we can feel good that it's clean energy, so that's one thing. But I'm sensing some unpreparedness. I feel unprepared since this is the first time I've seen this, and would we feel more comfortable voting on this at our next meeting when we've had a chance to go through this? And Or are you-
What is your time restriction, Brian?
Yeah, our challenge with that, folks, is we've got our banks looking to close on these things now. We're actually about 2 weeks late with the closing to finish the financing. So we've got, some $1 million+ sitting there that's not been financed yet. So if it's a meeting next week, that's one thing. If it's a meeting in September, that would be another thing.
So we have that meeting in August, with the finance. Can we have an agenda, a brief agenda for us before that meeting? It's like late.
Oh, you're saying August 26th?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
wait a
aren't we,
second.
so
First,
we're
let's
already
establish-
in an agreement.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and also the rate, 11.56, that's set for how long?
20 years-ish.
20 years.
All right, I mean, so there's maybe not as much daylight between that and Northborough economy, maybe, right, that we would like, but given the cost of energy and where it's gonna go in probably 20 years, especially given the laws of the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, I don't see it getting cheaper over 20 years, where that rate 20 years from now could look a lot better. Don't know that, but, I mean, energy has just gone up exponentially, especially in states like Massachusetts, so.
Good point.
I would hate to delay it any further.
I don't see any reason to delay it.
I
You
also,
don't see any reason to delay?
No, I'm just trying to understand where we are in this
Yep,
thing. And
okay.
it seems like we're pretty much.
Jacob?
The wall's there and we're there.
Same, I just wanted some clarifications. I'm fully for supporting the agreements that we've entered, and I'm not trying to rock any boats. I'm just trying to understand
Yep.
what's in front of us. I think I understand it better now. Don't need to delay.
Good question.
I do have a question for Brian. Exhibit B, the early purchase, year 7, $278,878. What is that?
Does that say early terminations that we're looking at?
It's early purchase, separate column. Year 7, there's an early purchase option for $207,878.
If you wanted to purchase the array through the tax equity position in the IRS rule for 6 years, you could do that for that amount of money.
We could.
Again,
okay.
we've done almost 150. We've never had a municipality buy a solar array after the fact.
But if we did the math, in year 7, we decided it was advantageous for us to purchase it for $278,000, we could do that.
That's correct. Yep.
Okay. Is that the same for Algonquin? Not the same numbers, but the same structure?
Same structure. Yep. The PPA is the same across all the communities that we work with in Massachusetts because of the power options oversight. Yep.
Is that a requirement or something that is typical in the agreements that you put in?
The requirement around the
Early
the
purchase?
price?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's part of it's a requirement of the power options program, yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that may be worthwhile to explore when you're 7.
Laura, do you have any questions or comments?
No, but was there a different packet that came out today?
We just got a copy of the,
Yeah, everything was just finalized. We got the attorney's feedback. This was in the hands of the school, and when I found out we had to sign it, and I didn't start this contract, I wanted it vetted through council, and so, yeah.
I appreciate that. No, I don't mind if it goes forward. I'll abstain just because I don't have access to that packet to review it, but I appreciate all the work that went into this.
and Stephanie, you have no concerns?
No.
Okay.
No, after reading the attorneys, he said, green light, we're good.
Could I move?
Yes.
Madam Chair, I move the board vote to approve the solar agreements with Select Solar as presented for Proctor and Lincoln Street Elementary Schools, and to authorize the chair to execute the same on the board's behalf.
Second.
Motion made by Jacob, seconded by Mike. Any other discussion? Then let's take a vote. All in favor? Roll call vote. Laura?
I'm going to abstain because I haven't seen the packet. I'm sorry.
Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
And Julianne votes aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate your time. If anyone has any questions, I'd be happy to meet with anybody one-on-one and explain the whole process. And I can bring with me a couple of files that'll give you a lot more detail.
That'd be great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Brian.
Happy to do it. Take care. Bye-bye.
All right, next on the agenda is a presentation by Dana about Northborough Cable.
Do you want me to run the cable while you're up here? No, that would be bad. That would be really bad.
Yeah, who knows what'll happen.
Truth.
Hi, Dana.
Hey.
And you sent quite a bit of information for us to review,
Yeah.
which was great.
I know you guys are really tight on time, so I'm gonna try to do my best here too. Share my screen. Let me just get that up on my screen over here real quick. All right, everyone, thank you for having me here tonight. Okay, so I'm Dana Volke. I'm the director of Northborough Cable, and I'm very proud and very happy to say to you guys today that Northborough Cable is going to be going through some significant changes, pretty much starting immediately. But I was really hoping to talk to you guys about this before the summit, just so you guys can kind of get an idea. I know that we're sort of like I always say we're sort of like the underdogs of the departments around here. We're real sort of behind the scenes. Not a lot of people seem to really know, who we are, what we do, that kind of a thing. So I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this. So more or less what we are is we're a town department. Some of these are run as 501c3s. Luckily, we're a part of the town. And our jobs are to create content for the town, for the community. And starting off, originally, it was just on cable. I kind of think of public access as we were the originators of like what you see online today, with the soapbox, right? So we have our 3 channels: our public channel, education and government. So public is when you would just see things about town events, special interests, that kind of stuff. Education is everything about the schools, and government is where you guys are. So all of our municipal meetings. Each channel has a bulletin board with flyers that are significant to each section there. And traditionally, what you guys can see here is this is what public access used to be. It was the soapbox, if you will, where people could come on and use their freedom of speech to talk about things that are going on. We have our 3 channels that run 24/7, and we have our staff, and there were volunteers that would help to cover meetings and events and that sort of thing. And traditionally, we would cover classes to show people how to use the AV equipment, and the staff would maintain all the town's AV equipment and all that kind of stuff. But there's been a lot of changes these days, right? So as things have progressed with technology, this stuff is really accessible these days, right? So back in the day, you had what we like to call talking head shows, right? Where people would, sit in our studio and chit chat about whatever. But today, we're doing things very differently. People are watching this stuff on their phones, on their laptops, and things like that through social media. So public access is alive and well today, but you know where it is? It's YouTube, it's TikTok, it's Facebook groups like the Facebook Moms, and I live in Shrewsbury. We have the Shrewsbury Community Forum. So that is today's version of public access, and just about everybody can do that. Everybody with a cell phone, it's totally accessible. I like to think of it as the what I call the Blockbuster analogy, where Blockbuster is gone because we now have streaming. It's not that people have stopped consuming media, it's that the distribution has changed. And interests have changed too, where people want shorter stuff, right? So when you look at stats on our viewership of the longer material, people don't watch it, so we're trying to focus on the smaller stuff. So as you guys can see, this is what we do now. I call this more or less a hybrid model. So we still have the traditional TV because through compliance with our cable contracts, we have to, but everything that we do is also online. Our 24/7 channels are also online, accessible to everyone. Everything that we do streams live and goes live up on YouTube, accessible to everyone. Everything that happens mostly goes up online here. So we also, we engage on social media, and we're doing, basically nobody comes in anymore and uses us for the soapbox, right? Everybody does that on their own anymore. If anybody wants to do AV stuff, they've learned how to do it online, and they figure it out on their own. So nobody comes in to do this stuff anymore. So we are all staff now. Everything is staff. We basically run like the town's production company, if you will, in a sense. And we maintain all this stuff. We're doing all these new hybrid meetings, which adds a tremendous amount of complexity to what we do. And we're just hosting meetings. And there's we have Part 107 FAA drone licenses now to commercially fly that stuff. So we do a tremendous amount more than we used to, but there's some of those traditional things that we're no longer doing at the same time. That's why I call it the hybrid model. So in terms of our funding, that's a huge snafu that we have. So as you guys can see, the packets that I sent you guys earlier, the right-hand one, the funding, there was a little bit of a typo in there, so what you see up here is accurate. Yeah, we're losing 5+% every single year because not only are people getting rid of their cable, they're going to the IP-based alternatives of cable, which is like YouTube TV, Sling, Hulu, right? So, which are significantly less expensive than cable. So, with that, how are we funded? Traditionally, our department has been 100% funded through traditionally it's always been 4%. We have 5% right now, which we're barely getting. I'll talk about that later. But we basically get very, very little just from residential cable subscriptions. And when I asked Andy a couple of months ago, I said, hey, how many residential households are in town? He says that there was 6,019. So that's how many customers that we can get funding from. And as of this year, there's only 2,713 that are subscribing to cable. So less than half of the town is funding this town department, yet everybody benefits from it. And we have full access of everything that we do online to everybody because, we strive for transparency and getting the information out to all the residents and in the community. So that's where we're at. And we have these cable contracts that renew. Typically, they were every decade. And Charter is still on a 10-year, but Verizon is only doing 5-year now. So there is a very good chance that they will no longer honor contracts, as people decline subscriptions. So with this, our department has to prepare for the future, because if we don't do anything, or we just continue to do the same, we're going to be gone. And all this is all going to be gone. We are a tremendous asset to this town to do what we do. So my staff and I are saying, what can we do? So we're going to modernize our department. And my crew and I have spent the last 2 years of really trying to build that up of what we're doing. So really modernize our operations, getting rid of the services that are no longer needed, like teaching AV classes and things like that. Because historically, I've been doing this stuff for probably 15 plus years, and nobody signs up for that kind of stuff anymore. So we're getting rid of that. We're having a huge emphasis on short form, high quality videos. Okay, so that's where like the kind of stuff you see typically online now. So really high quality short form. So not the longer stuff. So like typically, back in the day, if it was Applefest, you would get the hour and a half long video of just the parade. And we're not doing that kind of stuff anymore. You're going to get a really well-packaged short-form video about Applefest weekend, right, to really promote it. And that's really what we're doing, and that's what we're focusing on these days. And what's going to happen is eventually we're no longer going to be on those cable contracts. So the plan is to be hopefully, fully subsidized through the town, and to do small increments of that as time goes on. And so we started off with that with this year, because like I said, we were 100% funded. That meant health insurance, FICA, all that stuff. So so now that part is now coming under taxation as time goes on. We'll slowly be going, through taxation until eventually down the road we will be 100% funded. That's the plan. And with this, we have to rebrand, because we are no longer going to be public access. So starting now, we are officially going to be Northborough Media Connection.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Steph.
Yeah, love it.
So we work through a third-party company who's worked with a bunch of other town departments to develop this. They've worked with us to make our new mission statement and get us ready and prepared for this transition. So the whole plan right now is to become Northborough Media Connection, where we're relatively the same thing, but we are offering our new services, and we are basically in the forefront publicly going to be Northborough Media Connection. In the background, Northborough Public Access Television is still going to be in existence, so that way we can comply with our cable contracts. Once those are done, we can officially make that official switch. But in the meantime, we will publicly be under this. And this is a way just to show the town that, we are fully committed to giving the town exactly what it needs and striving for, for giving us, a real future here. All right. So our long-term operations is more or less a huge list. So we're doing more stuff than we ever have before, but we're just really trying to focus on some really good high-quality video coverage that we're trying to do. To really show the town that, we're no longer public access. We really mean business here. And this is, another way just to entice the town to support us, as that time comes. And along with a lot of the new stuff that we're going to be doing, we're going to be changing our, working on social media policies, changing our operational policies, working with all town departments on social media and just media posting etiquette, because all the other town departments have their own faces as well online, and just making sure that, everything has a cohesive look and feel to it. And with our branding as well, same thing. Everything that we're going to be working on is basically going to be having like sort of two ways. You're going to have the normal 16:9, where it's like widescreen for TV, and then everything's going to be shrunk down for phones as well. And all of our branding is going to have a real cohesive, nice look. And we're going to be consolidating our social outlook. So right now, we have the Northborough Cable Facebook page, and then there's the Town of Northborough page. So we're going to be retiring the Northborough Cable one and just posting onto the Town of Northborough one. And so there's no redundancy. Same thing with our YouTube. There's the Northborough Remote Meetings, and then there's ours. We're going to be rebranding ours and retiring Northborough Remote Meetings because, again, there's way too much redundancy there. There's too many duplicates. So we're just going to try to have a one-stop shop for all of our stuff. So.
Before you go to the next slide, what is the
Yeah.
podcast option?
Oh, yeah. So we've actually been doing podcasting stuff for years. Yeah. For instance, like the meetings like this tonight, what we do is the very next morning, we make an MP3, an audio file of it, and we upload it online. So that way, for anybody in town, if they're on their commute or anything like that, and they want to listen to a meeting that happened the prior night or anything like that, and they want to catch up, they can do that while they're driving or on the subway or on the T or whatever that they're going to do there. So, yeah, so we've been doing that for a long, long time, and we really want to really expand that to community use and town department use as well. So the library can have their own podcast, and police and so on and so forth. So trying to get those voices out there. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely go to their page. If you're not at an event, it's like you've been there because they capture everything. They interview people, it's great. Yeah.
We really
Amazing.
We really strive for excellence with our team. We don't want to be, old school public access. We're really trying to strive to be your communication and media department for the town. So, yeah, there you go. All right, great. Anybody got any questions or anything like that, or?
Very exciting.
Yeah. Like I said, a long time coming. This was one of the things where, like, on my first day when I started working here, roughly 10 years ago, my predecessor and I were talking about doing this, and it never happened. And then 2 years ago, I became the department director, and I said, all right, this has got to happen. So we spent 2 years of really just trying to build a really good portfolio and a really healthy repertoire with all the town departments in the community, just showing them what we can do, and then we decided, yeah, now's the time to do this and make that transition. So, yeah, so here we go. So, yeah.
Any questions or comments?
I just think it's great. I didn't even know we had a podcast. I'm on the library now, and it's here and to subscribe. So
Yeah,
I
cool.
think it's cool to see between this and YouTube the way that the evolution's gone. It's pretty cool.
Thanks for.
I
Go ahead.
agree with.
Laura, go. Sorry.
Oh, I was just going to say, I agree with you, John, and I really appreciate all of the actions that you're taking to be more accessible to the community and reaching out in these different platforms.
Thank you, Laura.
Well, thanks for this. I think it's a great direction to go into. I think it's good to be looking toward the future. Just a couple of landmines maybe I could make sure we're looking for along the way. I'm probably in one of your top 10 viewers of the YouTube things.
Hey, great.
Check accounts who are viewing those. I'm probably in your top 10. So I absolutely am personally seeing the value of all of that, which is only a slice of the pie here. I do get a little bit concerned as we think into the future when this isn't available on cable, and if hypothetically the only place to see this select board meeting, for example, is on YouTube. What if none of us controls the direction the alphabet goes, and there could be residents who are very, very objecting to having an Alphabet account.
Yeah, sure.
And what Alphabet's doing with their information. And they may say, I don't want to have to give my information to Alphabet to be able to participate. So
sure.
as much as I obviously have an account, I just told you, and I deal with whatever that comes with, I do want us to think about making sure we're thinking about anyone who may want to have access and maybe
Yeah,
not
yeah.
sell their souls
Well,
to
don't get me wrong.
Alphabet and Meta in the process.
Yeah, we want to stay on cable contracts
Yeah.
and continue to have that broadcasting capability for as long as we can.
Yeah.
But we are at the mercy of the cable providers at that point. And you know, and when those are done, they can go through and say, yeah, we're not going to renew. It's totally up to them. Having that outlet and that accessibility is great.
It is huge. Anyway, so I just want to make sure we're not accidentally cutting off some people on the fringes.
Yeah, sure.
That
Well,
way,
so
actually aren't able to access it.
Sure. So one thing that's always still going to be there is, even though it's still going to be up on YouTube, our 24/7 live streaming, we have a page just for that. So our 3 channels that are already up on TV, scheduled 24, they're up 24/7, like any regular channel.
So they could still go, using their web browser, still go see those.
Exactly. Yep. And that's just a link that's right up on the town website. So, yep, that'll still be there.
That's super. The second little landmine I just wanted to throw out there to be careful of is short form content. Obviously, it's consumed all the time. It's much more accessible. Our meetings, I'm cognizant, a 4-hour meeting isn't particularly accessible to someone who's got 10 minutes to review it. I'm a little concerned about the idea of turning our meetings into short form
no.
content, because who picks what are the most important 10 minutes of that meeting?
So meetings are not edited whatsoever. We have to stay gavel to gavel.
Right.
That's our long form
Great.
content. That will always remain. It's always going to be there. So short form marketing and educational material for the town, plus municipal meeting coverage. So,
The short form reporting is the community advocate's job.
yeah, they have that.
All right.
But
I
it's
just wanted to
also,
make
it's also
sure-
advertising of events and things like that too. So,
And I definitely see a role for it. I'm not trying to poo-poo the idea of short form, which is what we consume. I'm concerned. I want to put it this way. I don't want a more and more taxpayer-funded entity of the town deciding issues that it wants to present to the residents that put a finger on the scale of an issue.
Sure, yeah.
Which some other nationally funded media companies sometimes do. Anyway.
Picking up on that, there used to be a cable committee.
yeah, for almost as long as I've been here,
It's been inactive.
cable committee's basically been completely inactive. Yeah.
If you would think about if that's a necessary thing with all the changes and, outreach and stuff like that, maybe it might not be the
He's
worst.
like, no.
Depends. I mean, we've had that
Yeah.
that conversation before, and I don't see us being a front facing. We're sort of more like MIS GIS, right? Where we're sort of more in the background, right? So whether or not we have a committee to help to steer that ship, I mean, if we have it, we have it. It's fine, So
Well, you think about it. Okay, and I just have a question. How many people do you know how many people actually watch the cable channels now?
we cannot get stats on that, and the reason is because we cannot have Nielsen ratings because we do not advertise. So we can get no stats on TV whatsoever. It is what it is. The only stats that I can get is on online viewership.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Do you know the number offhand? I know it's pretty high.
Half the views came from me, so.
Yeah.
Oh, well, hey, there you go. Yeah. I mean, it depends on
Right, what it
and
is,
all
yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we have a really good following online.
Yeah,
so.
you do.
And it really depends on, like I said, on what it is.
Right.
And we're trying to really steer. I'll give you an example. So the Be Well Carnival, right? So we're talking to the folks who, put that together and we really want to advertise this event to get more attendance. And when you look at the stats, and when we put that out there, it's one thing to just put it up online, but when you put it up as, say, something like a Facebook, like a short video, or where it's sized for a phone, or you make it as a YouTube short, you get significantly more growth from something off of that. So.
And, I mean, maybe we don't have the viewership like other videos and whatnot on YouTube, but do we see any or possibility of any type of dollars from views on YouTube or other social media?
We personally cannot get funding from YouTube advertising because, well, that was one of the things here is that we, except for cable contracts, we cannot seek funding any other way.
And that's by statute, basically.
If we were a 501c3, that'd be another story. But as a municipality, we don't have a revolving fund. We can't, so while we are under cable contracts, we cannot do any kind of advertising whatsoever.
Okay.
We can't make commercials, we can't do anything like that, right? I can't sell producer memberships or anything to that degree, right? So I'm at that mercy. So
Okay.
it's, and trust me, for years and years and years, those of us who are in the PEG community have been trying to go to the state to try to get internet revenue, which would be fantastic, but I don't see that ever happening. That's a bit of a pipe dream.
Right, or if you wanted, before a podcast, a quick ad for a local business could buy a spot on a podcast video beforehand, you can't do that.
I would be really hesitant to do something like that. I mean, again, well, it's just because we're funded a certain way.
Right.
I would really worry about something.
Right, no, I'm just kind of thinking out loud. I mean, yeah, there's other,
Now-
kind of to Jacob's point, other things that could come from that or other.
When we are no longer on cable contracts, then we can have that discussion of possible other revenue streams.
Okay.
That would be great. But yeah, while we're under those contracts, we're stuck.
Gotcha.
So,
That's
unfortunately.
2037
Yeah, at this point, with trying, the thing is,
unless it ends earlier.
there's only, there's only like 600 people that subscribe to Charter in town, and we lose, around 5 to 10% every year. So I do get all those stats from the cable providers. Yeah, that's the scary stuff. And the thing too is, we don't have any, we don't have a slush fund, unfortunately. So yeah, we're pretty much like right there at that point. So, so.
I appreciate you guys being diligent. I think it's fortunate you don't have a slush fund, so.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I'm just joking around.
No,
Thank you
no,
for all the
I-
information today,
Sure,
though. I really
sure,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, all right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
This is
all
very
right.
exciting.
Thank you. All right, let's get back to our. Okay.
Okay, next on the agenda is vote on subcommittee recommendations for appointments to boards and committees. Laura and I had some very good interviews with candidates for Zoning Board of Appeals, Cultural Council, and Youth Commission, and DEI. Unfortunately, with Youth Commission, there's a fourth person we have to interview, so we're going to postpone that vote. You all got our comments in the packet, so if there's are there any questions or comments? We can start to vote on these appointments. Any questions or comments? Laura, do you want to say anything about any of the all of the candidates?
Yeah, they really, I was so impressed with the volume of people that we had apply, and I don't know how that happened, but I really appreciate all the interest. The only other comment I'll make, I said this as well at the interview, but if there are people from the Cultural Council that may be impacted by the term limits, if they are interested in serving in the Community Affairs Committee, that was one of the requests from Community Affairs.
Excellent. So our first motion will be Jack Carney for Zoning Board of Appeals. He was serving as an alternate, and he will be moving into Jacob's position. So, Jacob, would you like to make the motion?
I would like to move the board vote to appoint Mr. Jack Carney. I think he goes by Jack. I think his name is John, but he goes by Jack. Jack Carney as a voting member of the Zoning Board of Appeals for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028.
For a second?
Second.
Just quick discussion. I
Yeah.
worked with Mr. Carney while I was on the ZBA. I think this is a great pick.
Thank you. Okay, motion made by Jacob, seconded by John. Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Let's start with Mike.
Aye.
John.
Aye.
Jacob.
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Okay, next is Cultural Council. We interviewed Shane Goodwin and Julie Peterson. Shane is already on the Northborough Arts Council, and Julie is passionate about serving on Cultural Council and doing more programming. So are there any questions or anything about these candidates?
Did you have to say anything about the alternate for ZBA or no? No?
Oh, I'm comfortable saying, so
Oh, okay.
the alternate was Samir Jaiswal, and Laura and I both agreed that we want to have a continued conversation with him because his conversation was mostly about economic development, and we just want to talk to him another time so that he understands that zoning board of appeals is really not, to change the bylaws or, or to promote economic development. It's really following the bylaws. So we just want to make sure that he understands.
Oh, I thought like Jack Carney was alternate before he became a member. No?
Right.
Okay. yeah.
Right.
Oh, but you always
Now there-
need an alternate,
So now
correct?
there's an
Or no?
open alternate spot for us to go solicit and fill, I think.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, now I understand.
But
Okay.
there is an alternate.
There's currently
two
one,
alternate
Jeff is still an
positions.
alternate, I believe.
Okay, now I get it. Okay.
Was that your question?
Yes, I thought that this was a new alternate for the position, but we already have an alternate right now, right? I don't know, I'm just.
We have one
I'm just
alternate, we
gonna
have to
zip-
fill the second position,
it.
but we're going to talk to that candidate.
Okay.
A little more. Okay.
Gotcha.
So we're on Cultural Council, Shane Goodwin and Julie Peterson. Would anyone like to make a motion to approve their appointment?
Yeah, Madam Chair, I'll make a motion. Should I read both motions
Please.
together? Okay. I move the board vote to appoint Shane Goodwin to the Cultural Council effective August 4th, 2025, for a 3-year term. I also move the board vote to appoint Julie Peterson to the Cultural Council effective August 4th, 2025, for a 3-year term.
Second.
Thank you, Laura. A motion made by Mike, seconded by Laura. Any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Jacob?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
And I vote aye. And the last one is James Kane for DEI. James has a passion for diversity, equity, and inclusion, had a great interview. Laura, do you want to add anything? It's,
No, I mean, all the candidates really bring a lot of unique groups that they work with, a lot of good experience that they're looking to devote to our town. And I'm looking forward to seeing how these committees really start to help enhance the different groups as they participate in town on the town's behalf.
okay, so I need a motion to approve James Kane's position. Would anyone like to
Madam Chair, I
make?
move the board vote to appoint James Kane to the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee for an approximate 3-year term ending on April 30th, 2028.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made by
Second.
Jacob, seconded by Laura. Any other discussion? This will be a roll call vote. Mike?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
Jacob?
Aye.
And I vote aye. Motion has passed, and we now move into reports. Laura, do you have any reports tonight?
I'm light on reports tonight. I just wanted to give a heads up that there is the final community affairs concert coming up on Sunday with School of Rock. So if you can make it, please be sure to join the town at 1:35. And that concludes my report for today.
Jacob?
Since my last report, I met with I'm going to forget which committee it was, Open Spaces,
Oh, uh-huh.
right?
Yep, yeah. Open
Open
space.
spaces.
And we were talking about, there was a presentation done earlier this year by a gentleman, Don, I wanted to say, who was an individual who was, I could be forgetting his first name, who's promoting some interconnectivity of some trail systems you all actually heard all that presentation. I got myself caught up on it. And they were going into some particulars about how to approach some property owners along Route 9, where they want to do a connection there, and some other questions that we discussed about possible proposals for expanding that. There was a suggestion that maybe Dawn could come to that committee to give us a little more information. So point is that discussion is still happening, and it looked like it has a lot of support. I think they're wanting to know how the select board, given that we've changed in composition a little bit, feels about supporting that kind of activity. So far, there isn't a proposal that has a dollar amount with it or anything like that. But there's some state support, supposedly, is what I understand, for helping us connect some of these trails.
Right.
Anyway,
Like the
which you
B-Wall?
all heard, yeah, the B-Wall Trail. And there's also, yeah, that's the main one we talked about. So then secondly, there is some initial discussion about trail plans for the 421, for the Whitney Street property. And then they discussed how to get rid of some of the waste there, but I know that's something that we've heard of before, of the issue of funding for that. But anyway, that's what I can remember at the moment.
And that ends your report?
Yes, and, yeah, trying to stay close to what's going on with the fire station building. And I'll let you know when I have more information to report.
Great. And we should thank all those volunteers who are cleaning up the
Yes.
property
There was
that
a
we
lot
bought.
of work that was done in a lot of volunteer hours from the Trails Committee, and I'm gonna not list because I'm gonna forget who it all was, but, yeah.
John, any reports?
No reports.
Mike?
Only report is that on Monday, August 18th, there'll be another meeting of the Peasley Building Committee. So getting back into that and ramping up, having meetings, another meeting scheduled, so that's good. Other than that, no other reports.
And I just have a short report. The mural is completed on the shed at Assabet Playground, and it is really attractive, and I think the kids will love it. And also, walk on the second floor of Town Hall and look at the pictures of the witness houses. Cultural Council has a beautiful display of those photographs, and it's pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah,
I love it.
it's very interesting. Stephanie?
Yes, okay. August 26th at 6 PM at the Northborough Free Library, we will be holding our first financial summit of the year to kick off the fiscal year '27 budget season. White Cliff's agreement with Elegant Banquets, we're preparing that for special town meeting. We've been working with them to have it fair on both sides. As everybody knows, they will be investing a lot of money in the property, around 12 million, which would be double for us as a municipality with prevailing wage. Also, they're looking at what they're going to have to do for remediation environmental costs. They're hoping it will only be around 2 million, but they're finding, all of that out between mold and lead abatement. So it's going great. We're going to go into executive session tonight, but Dana, he will be marketing it for the public. We want to hold a public forum to talk about, what we decided upon on our agreement, and we also would like to open up the first 2 floors for a tour, so you can see it in disrepair, and then you'll be able to see the beautiful outcome, hopefully, if it gets passed through special town meeting. So we're excited. St. Gobain, another exciting project for the tax incentive financing. For anyone that doesn't know, St. Gobain, they've been around for years. They've been a great tax revenue source for the town. They're expanding, adding on 3 additions to one of their main buildings, which will be a training center. And we're negotiating right now with them for a tax incentive financing option. So hopefully this will get them to get the project through their CEO in Paris. And And it's really I would say time sensitive, because there's numerous projects that the CEOs look at, and a research and development company isn't, one of their profitable endeavors for the company. So us showing support locally is huge for them. So we are going to, with the blessing of our last town meeting, hopefully enter into some agreement, and we will be discussing that in executive session tonight. Northborough Power Choice, we are part of that program. We are offering 13.96% cents per kilowatt, which is lower than National Grid's at 15.48, so that's good. We like it a little bit lower. We have the Senator's office. They're interested in booking biannual meetings for the board, and she said to look in October and November, so I gave the board schedule, so hopefully they can come in and we can have some great discussions with them. Purdue National Opioid Settlement participation. There's numerous companies that were fined, and fortunately, the municipalities get to recoup. And what we do is participate in the settlement, and we have to use this money for any type of opioid use. So whether it's through education, whether it's through counseling, we can actually fund our counselor and Health and Human Services a portion of her time because of dealing with situations, which is great. So as of right now, Northborough has received $295,000 from multiple national opioid settlements. Northborough Extended Day Program has moved. They used to be right across the hall. So they're going, their new house is at the Lincoln Street School. Families can expect the same great services and support programs that working parents rely on, offering childcare before and after. CPA funding agreement update for the Northborough Housing Authority Veterans Housing Project. The town of Northborough, through its CPC, is almost finished preparing the funding agreement. So we will see that very soon. I have everything vetted through town council. So the project will receive $880,000 in CPA funding, including an $80,000 contingency as part of the total $2 million project budget, with additional funding from NHA and the Commonwealth of Mass. So we are working on that. The rec department, they had fun visits by the fire department. They hosed everybody down. They have the splash pad now with the beautiful mural, which was Laura Bassimi, I believe her name is. But great. It was beautiful. It was fun, vibrant. The kids loved it. Fall program preview goes live on July 28th at 10 a.m. So early registration will open up August 5th at 9 a.m. There's a lot of great programs, so check those out on our rec website. Health and Human Services. The director, Isabella, and I will be conducting interviews for the Board of Health position. We've already had some great ones. Let's see, they have social worker drop-in hours every Tuesday, in August at 3 p.m. at the Northborough Free Library. Stop in for support, resources, guidance. They've been overseeing a high school student intern, and she's very interested. She is going for a master's in public health. She's very interested in what they're doing, and it just clicked with her. We've been doing a lot of work at the high school to try to ramp up municipal government and, show the different aspects of things that they could be interested in. So it's great. People are actually interested, which is super. The HHS is collaborating with the Senior Center and Cultural Council to host the Art of Well-Being on Tuesday, August 12th from 4 to 6:30 at the Senior Center. There will be art and nature activities to support the well-being and mental health. They're also hosting a workshop in collaboration with Southborough Youth and Family Services to support ninth grade students with their transition to high school, focusing on coping with anxiety, executive functioning, and building relationships on August 21st. Encompass is hosting a youth leadership training for Northborough and Southborough High School students on August 27th. The training is an opportunity for teens to learn how to become a community leader with a focus on understanding young health data and learning how to create and support a movement around it. Lasting Environmental Solutions will perform our required post-closure monitoring and reporting for the former Northborough landfill during fiscal year '26. The biennial third-party inspection is not included and will be required in the fall of '26, which is fiscal year '27. So our schedule looks like fall in 2025. We'll do the monitoring of the groundwater and the wells. In spring, we'll repeat it and separate post-closure landfill monitoring reports for submission, which the DEP handles. So our goal is to make sure that the levels are below all thresholds, and hopefully, eventually we will not have to monitor this because it costs us around $10,000, I'd say, every year. Cable access, the town of Northborough is in the process of filling the cable assistant position. Still? Okay. This week, we're interviewing 3 strong candidates, each bringing great skills and experience to the table. We look forward to selecting the best fit to support our operations. Fire department, there's another intern, incoming senior, Algonquin. They completed 72 hours of ride time with the department. And this lady is a member of the Health Occupation Students of America, which is impressive, and is interested in the medical field. She participated in training and EMS response. Our 6 members at MFA Recruit School are doing very good. One, Ben Aramo, has been selected as the class spokesperson. So we really are pulling some interest in, which is lovely because, like I said, succession is hard in this field. Library, the Northborough Free Library has programs for all ages. For kids, they have craft making, Lego building, drop-in gaming, tween times, music mashup, create camp. Younger children can join in on baby story time, baby playtime, toddler time, dance part. Oh, God, I remember all that. That's so funny. For teens, dive into adventures with Dungeons and Dragons Junior, Minecraft Club, and Dungeons and Dragons for beginners and beyond. For adults, join the Tuesday book group, Adult D&D Night, and spice up your life. Let's just not talk about, I don't know what is involved there. Cookbook Club, there's also games like trivia, tech tutoring sessions available. Special events, don't miss the art show, closing ice cream social on August 6th, the summer reading kickoff with Flying High Dogs on August 8th at Ellsworth and McAfee Park. That's going to be interesting. We do so much here. Okay, town clerk. Our new town clerk, Damian Bartek, is off and running and already working closely with the AG's office as they review our town meeting articles. The AG's office has raised a procedural question regarding Article 50, which amended the town charter to replace the town accountant position with the finance director. Specifically, they noted that a public hearing was required prior to the vote. So Damian is now in communication with the AG's office. What might happen is that would have to re-advertise it for a public hearing and come back. Worst case scenario, we have a special town meeting coming up for White Cliffs. So, we could take any action we needed there, so. But it's good. It was caught, and it's nothing that was that serious. She's also very busy working on our recodification process, which she's done in her prior role in West Boylston. So it's just getting all of the comments back and forth, sourcing them out to who needs to answer it. DPW, Northborough Youth Soccer, provides, at no cost to the town, 90% of the field maintenance services at Ellsworth. This includes fertilizer, turf, and irrigation. DPW does the mowing and leaf removal. The same relationship exists with Northborough Little League at Memorial and Casey Fields. In the past years, Public Works has helped with some of the capital projects. For example, we paid for the replacement of the failed irrigation pump at Memorial Field. The town has been clear about their concerns with expenditures that are not specifically called out in the budget. Northborough Youth Soccer has asked the town to assist with turf improvement shown on the attached estimate. Unexpected things like the pump last year and this year's soccer field drainage improvements come up from time to time and are not predictable due to the budget development. Northborough Youth Soccer would like DPW to purchase a $4,400 worth of sand, and basically Scott wanted to know if this is something that the Select Board wanted to weigh in on, given the fact that we're going to be looking very carefully at budgets and, you know, what is being taken care of from the town standpoint versus school standpoint. So we kind of have to decide on maybe restructuring a little bit, because a lot of the work that needs to get done, rec has spent money on school fields, and there's not a lot of recreational use, maybe one specific field, but we have to work together, school and town, but decide on how we should restructure in order to, you know, make the dollars, well, let's just say pull from the right bin. So it's, yeah, so we're going to have to look at that a little bit harder this year, since things are getting a little bit tight. The veterans agent, Jeff, will be on vacation, good for him, starting July 25th and returning August 4th. Well, that's done. But I did bring up last meeting Yasel Franco. She's our new assistant, and she's doing fabulous. She's great. She has a lot of experience. Police Department, starting July 30th, officers will be on the lookout, be careful of this, for kids and families who are unplugged from electronics and enjoying the great outdoors. So basically, if they see you doing something fun outside, you get a free ice cream ticket, courtesy of Ullman's Ice Cream. So get up and get out. Also, they're going to be holding their youth academy. Oh, nope, they already did, July 14th through 18th. I pre-write this. And it was a great experience for everyone involved. The kids love this. And you know what? That could get them into wanting to be a police officer one day. And I think, is that it?
So we don't
Yeah.
have to make any decision about the purchase of the sand tonight?
It's not tonight, no, but
Okay.
this will be more focused in on budgeting and what goes where. And, you know, and it might stay in DPW, but it just should be known, you know, what monies are being pulled from DPW to pay for X, Y, and Z. It just should be a little bit more transparent, I'd say.
Okay. Thank you very much. Diane?
I have no report.
Thank you. Okay, so next on the agenda is public comment. Do we have any? Hi, Norm. Even though we all know you, please state your name.
Yes, of course. Thank you. So I'm Norm Corbin, 35 Whitney Street. And since you're starting your negotiations with Elegant Banquets, thank you, I thought I'd take a look, see what's going on Facebook. So last weekend, I did some number crunching. So my real interest tonight is to review the Facebook comments that have been regarding the White Cliffs Banquets proposal, the Elegant Banquets proposal. I do realize that Facebook information has a lot of limitations and may not fully represent the sentiments of the Northborough registered voters. For example, Facebook data that I will use includes that are non-Northborough residents. I will not include many residences who don't have Facebook accounts, and there are also other residences who won't use the same Northborough Facebook pages and accounts that I've seen or accessed. So the data is not thorough. However, when I look at the prior experience, when we had the opportunity for the affordable housing on the White Cliffs property, it was clear that the Facebook comments did give us some direction as to it wasn't a favored result, and in the end, it was rejected. So I do feel that there is some value in reviewing Facebook data just to obtain a general idea of some community interest. In addition, I've also asked some friends of mine to directly contact the Select Board and voice their concerns and their opinions of the communications you're now having with the Elegant Banquets. Since May 5th, the Community Advocate has run seven articles regarding White Cliffs, and that's generated a lot of Facebook comments. So for the past weekend, I looked at the Facebook comments on 4 different sites. There's the Facebook page for the Community Advocate, there's the I Grew Up in Northborough, there's All Things Northborough, and there's Save White Cliffs. Those are the ones that I have access to. I do know there are others like Northborough Moms, Northborough Dads, and the like, and I don't have access to those. So I just looked at the Facebook comments in 2 different ways. I looked at the text, what people were writing, and I looked at it in 3 different categories. Were they positive? Were they negative? Or were they just general comments? There are a lot of just general comments. I went to a wedding there, I had a dinner there, that kind of thing. So I lumped them into the general comments. I found 271 comments, 58% were positive, 10% were negative, and 32% of the were general comments. Then I went back and looked, if you look at the Facebook, you can put emojis. You don't have to put a text comment. You can put emoji in terms of, do I like this comment or do I like this particular topic? So there were only 4 emojis used. There were 1,696 emojis. Only 4 were used. 3 of them were like, care, and love, which I put under a positive response, and the other one was angry. So of the 1,696 comments, only 1 was angry.
What was their name? No, I'm just kidding.
So, and then the last thing is, if you've been following the Community Advocate, they did a flash poll recently to just get comments from the community. So they had 170 votes as of this morning. Thank you. I had 170 votes as of this morning, and the question was, do you agree with the Select Board's selection of Elegant Banquets? 91% said yes, 5% said no, indifference was 4%. So all I want to express tonight is that there's an overwhelming support in the there's overwhelming support for the Select Board to pursue negotiations with Elegant Banquets. That's all I had. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Wow.
I would like to know who's the 4% who took a poll that they didn't care about. How do we reach them?
I'm going to give you a copy as the chair, if you want to have those numbers.
Thanks for taking the time to compile that, Norm. That was really informative.
Yeah,
and I have followed those posts, but it was nice to hear it all just bundled together like that.
It was fun.
I
Thank you.
purposefully stay off those sites because I'd probably cry, so it's fine.
Wow.
No, this is great.
Yes. Wow.
That's good.
Statistics must have been your major in college.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, any other public comment? Anybody calling in that, no? No? Okay. Then future agenda items. Back to you, Laura. There was something during Chief
Yeah,
County's-
I was talking about the local implementation group for the hazardous mitigation, which is listed in the original packet. I'm happy to talk with the chief first before we put that on an agenda, unless you think it makes more sense to put that as an agenda item for us.
Okay, why don't you talk to the chief first and then
Okay,
bring
then
it up
report
to us?
back.
That'd be great.
Thank you.
Anyone else have future agenda items that they, okay, I'm sorry, I keep postponing this, but our meetings but other things take more importance. But I'm sure you're all thinking about the goals that you'd like to accomplish this year, and we will get to that. All right, then. I have one question. Do you have any idea of the date for special town meeting?
That's what we need to discuss. we're saying October, and I did double check. There is nowhere in the charter that stipulates October, the last week in October, or anything.
Right.
Or October in general. So we can have it whenever we want, but I would say sooner rather than later.
So it could be end of September, for example?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, all right.
What's the sorry, Madam Chair, what's the number of days before the meeting that we have to have the articles?
Yep, okay, so I think it's 20. Oh, no, isn't it 2 weeks?
Sorry.
2 weeks we need to
I thought it was a month.
have.
I just want to make sure we know what that is, so we don't trip all on ourselves.
Yeah, but we're only in August, so we
August is gonna
should be
We have
good.
to have a warrant, we have to.
Yep.
Notify residents.
At least a month before, I think. What do you?
We'll
what's
look
your
into that.
recollection?
It's a month before, but I'm saying there's the stipulation for getting the warrant posted is 2 weeks
Okay.
prior, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So if we get, if it's a month before,
We have to approve the warrant.
yep, so we need, yes.
Oh, we have a public comment.
You need the buy-in of the financial committees and the select board on the warrant item. So you're going to have to back into that like we did with the fire station last year.
Yep, that's a good point.
It's a critical path.
Yeah, that's what I was making sure we
Yeah.
build in all of that.
Okay, so
I couldn't hear the public comment.
he's coming up, Laura.
Okay, thank you.
We'll work backwards from it.
Yeah, I know, that's a good idea.
Do we know when the next, do we know when the next meetings are for those two? Because they'll need time to put on their agendas and all that.
John Rappa, 105 Weston Terrace. My comment was, like the fire station project last year, the financial committees, financial planning and appropriations, as well as the select board, will have to chime in on the proposed warrant and vote on them as part of the critical path leading to that. So you're going to have to back in those meetings into your calendar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Could I
Looking more like October.
Could I
think
ask
there's a
if we
question.
know the next dates of the, haven't been established yet, okay.
I thought you had a date for financial planning.
Yeah, wasn't it September 2nd?
It is on the horizon,
Okay.
subject to us paneling the open slots.
Oh, okay, yep, all right.
Okay.
Okay, so we have a tentative date.
And just so I'm clear too, so what is the role of financial planning committee and is it for White Cliffs?
So I believe in the charter, it says appropriations and select board, but last year, we just had everybody. We had all the financial boards to look at the warrant articles and back them before we actually go to special town meeting.
And then
Or
what
town
about like the
meeting.
planning board?
So planning board, the issue that needs to be addressed is, we looked at the zone, the planner, so it would be business zone A that we would need to change the White Cliffs to. Right now, it's, which it always has been, even when there was a banquet function, it was half residential and half business. So we want to make it all business A. We talked to council about.
Business East.
Oh, is it? A business zone east? East, well, you would know, your ZBA was.
87% sure of that, we'll say.
87.
Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, I don't know why I'm,
It's fine. I didn't, it's a
no,
detail, but yeah.
so, and we looked into spot zoning, we talked to council about it. They felt there was absolutely no spot zoning because in the area, there's business zone A and it's always been used for that as well, even though it hasn't been in business for a while.
Scott, Mr. Charpentier is raising his hand.
Oh, hi, Scott. Scott,
Yep,
we'd like
I
to
have
hear
you.
from you.
Just to clarify, the White Cliffs property, the front portion of it is zoned Business East, and the rear is residential. So a portion of the parcel is currently business. The rear portion is residential.
And
So
I argue the rear portion is the most controversial of this proposal.
Right, and is it going to be rezoned Business East or Business Zone A? I don't know where I'm getting that.
I'm 99%
It's-
sure Lori's letter said Business East.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, Business East would include, if you look at the parcels along that section of Route 20 on that side, the Business East zone limit is pretty much along all the rear property lines, except for White Cliffs, maybe a few others, but generally it follows the rear property lines of all those parcels.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
I think the question is whether it also needs to go on the planning board's agenda, whether we're thinking that, because we're just talking about the timing, right?
Yeah,
Is planning board here tonight?
no. No.
I'm the
is-
liaison to planning
Is
board, so
Lori
I will
on?
reach out to them.
Oh, planning board, I was thinking Lori, the planner.
And also ZBA is,
I think I am. I think that they'll prefer not, full disclosure, I talked to Paul. I think his position is he prefers not to weigh in, because if they're gonna have to have a hearing, they'll have a hearing. My understanding, if it is Business East, and if our zoning enforcement officer is saying the proposed use is restaurant with alcohol, that would be a special permit to the ZBA. So I doubt that they're gonna want to weigh in. I'll
Okay.
just put it that way.
good point.
Just to not appear biased, I think.
A lot of details to go over. All right. Anything else on that? Okay, any other business to come before the board? Anything else? Then we will leave this meeting and go into executive session, and I will read the motion for executive session. I move that the Select Board move into executive session pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining and to vote on the proposed agreement with Northborough Firefighters, Local 3057, IAFF, Massachusetts Coalition of Police, AFL-CIO, Northborough Patrol Officers Union, Local 165, Patrol Officers, Massachusetts Coalition of Police, AFL-CIO, Northborough Superior Officers Union, Local 165A, Sergeants, Northborough Municipal Employees Association, NMEA. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to negotiating a tax increment financing agreement with Saint-Gobain Research America located at 9 Goddard Road as authorized under Article 47 of the 2025 Annual Town Meeting. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A3, to discuss strategy with respect to the rental agreement between the Town of Northborough and Elegant Banquets for the White Cliffs property located at 167 Main Street, Northborough, Massachusetts, as authorized by town meeting under Article 43 of the 2024 Annual Town Meeting warrant. Pursuant to Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 21A7, review and consideration of the following executive session meeting minutes of July 1, 2025, July 7, 2025. The above executive session agenda is due to the chair's determination that a discussion regarding these matters in an open session may have a detrimental effect on the negotiating position of the town. Please note, the board will adjourn directly from executive session without returning to open session. Is there a second?
Second.
Second.
The motion was made by me. Mike seconded it. It will be a roll call vote. Jacob?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
And I vote aye. We have to adjourn this meeting and then move into executive session. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Okay, made by Mike, seconded by Laura. Jacob?
Aye.
John?
Aye.
Mike?
Aye.
Laura?
Aye.
And I vote aye to adjourn this portion of the meeting. Do we want a 2-minute break?
Yes.
2 minutes and counting.
Yes,
You
we
can
do.
guys.
Any honey roast